Hi there, welcome back. Check this out. See these numbers? I don't know how well you can see it. It's 4 and 5 watt. What we have here is a QCS1250 Dell Pro Slim desktop. If this doesn't sound familiar, I completely agree with you. For some reason in 2024 Dell decided to go somewhere none of us asked them to go to, and they ended up getting rid of all the most iconic lines what we've been using for years and decades. The Dell Precision Workstation, the XPS, the Vostro, the Inspiron, the Optiplex. We just throw these names out of the window and came up with words or a combination of words like Slim, Pro, Plus, Max, Ultra, and this is what we have. Not only that, but if you're looking at this Dell front bezel, the iconic Dell Optiplex is technically gone. For extra bonus points, please let me know in the comment section who has this exact same design. And let's dive in. So first of all, I have to tell you that this is the best Dell Optiplex we have ever seen. These computers are equipped with the second generation of Ultra CPUs. This is an Ultra 5 235 CPU with 14 cores. And look at the power consumption. It's under 5 watt. Technically, we are hitting a laptop category. But on the other side, the thermals and the performance, it is unbelievably good. If I grab my sound meter and turn this thing on and put it right on a case, it says low. What means is there is not enough span to measure. And even if I push this PC to its absolute max with 100% CPU usage, this thing will show low or zero. Let me tell you what we have here. Let's start with the ports. First of all, we have 3 USB ports and we have a USB-C or Thunderbolt in the front. We have a power button, and this is the one and only audio jack what the computer has. This is a combo port. It's called a combination of the mic and the headphones. If you have a headset, you can plug it in, and that's it. A lot of my clients are not happy with this. They still prefer to plug everything on the backside so they don't have a cable dangling in front of the USB ports. This is a nice clean slate design, but now we have to plug something in. Scott, you are a boomer. You don't need to plug anything in the front. If you have an HDMI monitor, which is probably coming with speakers now, you can just use that. You have a webcam that has a microphone built in. Technically, you don't need to plug anything in here, especially if you have a Apple earbuds or any kind of wireless earphones. This has microphone in it. You can just use that. Yes, it's a very good point. We could. However, this computer by default does not come with a Wi-Fi or a Bluetooth. So let's look at the back side. Let's see what we have here. So first of all, this is a pro feature what we have here. We have a display port and an HDMI port, and both of these are 5K now. Not 4K, not full HD. 5K. Not only that, but if you daisy chain the display port to 2 monitors, you're gonna get 4K resolution on both. If you daisy chain 4 monitors from the display port, you're gonna get full HD or full HD plus on all 4 of them, which is a game changer. We can put technically 5 monitors on this computer by default, but the real pro feature is these knockout ports. So these are here for a reason. On the motherboard right here we have a serial header. All you need is a piece of cable, and then you can have your serial port out here. Yes, I'm aware of that we can get a $10 USB serial port, but that is not reliable as something on a motherboard, and then the connection goes straight to the PC instead of going through an extra point of failure. We also have another header in here. And the good thing is we can have another display port which would be also 5K. So technically we can connect an army of monitors to this PC very easily. We have 4 USB ports and we have a hardwired connection, a gig. Again, there is no Wi-Fi or no Bluetooth by default in this PC because these are business class machines. How many of my clients need Wi-Fi? Maybe 5%. The rest of them, everything is hardwired because they are in a financial field, they are a medical field, They are manufacturing something. I don't want the PC to connect by accident to an open network or a rogue network. It's just a security risk or just another point of failure. Everything still in 2025 must be hardwired if it's critical. One of my favorite part what changed is with this new design. I don't know if this is an accident or this is what we're gonna do from now on, but these screws are hand tight. This was hand tight as well. All I have to do is loosen these screws up. I don't need a screwdriver, and the top cover just slides off. And if you're looking at this motherboard, we don't see anything regards of the quality. Everything is still business class and business class design. Look how clean this small case looks like from inside. This is the best part of these Dell desktops or business class machines, that it's a clean slate. Replacing this power supply will take me about 30 seconds. Adding more RAM will take about 5 seconds. Replacing the solid state will take, I don't know, 15 seconds. This thing is super easy to work with. I have not seen a motherboard or a power supply failure yet inside the 6 to 8 years lifetime what we are having with our clients. Extremely reliable, but you have an on-site warranty. Even when these computers are starting at, depends on a configuration, starting at I think like $700, you still get on-site warranty. Take a look around, see which manufacturer give you a on-site warranty. This is not a sponsored channel and not a sponsored video. I've been doing IT for 23 years. I've been doing Dell for 16 years mostly, and it's all by choice. I am super happy, and I'm still amazed how well these things are designed and built. Let's get to the bottom first. This is a 180 watt power supply. We only have 2 cables going into the motherboard, this 8-pin and a 4-pin. And a lot of people are complaining that it's really hard to replace anything in these computers, but that's not the point. These are not gaming computers. I know a lot of you are converting these into gaming computers, especially if a corporate pulls them out from main production after 3 or 5 years. There's still plenty life left in them. You throw a card in it and they are completely suitable for gaming. That is 100% true. But Dell makes power supplies for 300 watt. Look like, here it is. So here it is. So as you can see, the 300 watt power supply has this 8-pin and has 2 of these 4 pins. This motherboard, I see the pin for the second 4-pin connector, but it's been cut off. So maybe this will perform a little bit better than 180 watt, but it's definitely not gonna probably go up as high as 300. And this will come in play a little later. But Scott, you just looking at the numbers, 5 watt. When are we gonna exceed this 180 watt power supply? In a real life environment, you probably will not. If I push this with any kind of software to torture the CPU power consumption will go up to 100, 120 watt periodically. Well, we're still very far away from 180, but as soon as we add a card which can and will draw 60, 65, or even 70 peak up from this PCI slot, then we're really close to the 180 watt. Theoretically, in a real gaming environment with the card installed, I see 80 to 100 watt. So it is very efficient. Let's talk about the PCI Express slot, since we are already mentioning the video card options. We have 2 1-lane slot in here for some reason. You can put a wireless card in here, another network card, make it a PFSense or some kind of streaming server, or maybe a sound card if you need more channels or more output. And this is a 16-lane slot Gen 3. So technically this is our point when we can put a meaningful video card in here, which does not require any power because our power cord does not have a connection to support the video card. Now my favorite is this 3050 OC from Gigabyte. It has 6 gigs of RAM, does not require any power source, and it has a meaningful cooling system on it. The problem is we cannot put it in here because we are hitting the power supply. Now it looks like the motherboard shrunk a little bit, so it almost fits but does not, and even if would, it would just cover the fans with the power supply. Maybe next year or a couple more years, maybe this motherboard will continue to shrink, or maybe just Dell at one point will actually move this slot up in here like any $100 budget motherboard would have. For some reason Dell does not want to do that. On a higher model, the Pro Plus used to have these 4-lane slots, not 1 lane but 4-lane, open-ended, which means this back side was cut out, so you could put this card in here. I'm not gonna speculate if this is the case or not. I have not seen a Pro Plus yet. Hopefully will, and then we'll do a full review. I'm still hoping that in 2025 we can put a dual slotted video card in here, just like we did in previous years. We'll see that if it's gonna happen or not. So this empty M2 is responsible for your Wi-Fi or for your Bluetooth. If you don't want to deal with that and don't want to add a card and then take this front bezel off and attach the antennas here, just get something like this, like with 2 antennas with a little bit of hardware in it, not just a single stick, and then you have a freedom to move this anywhere you want. Don't just assume that the signal is going to be the best on the top of the case. Depends on where is your router at. You can double or triple your speed just try to run some speed test and move this antenna around and see which one is the best spot. So let's talk about the solid state. We only have one slot in here, and this is a 2230 by default. You can put a 2280 in here, even this Samsung 990 Pro. The only problem is, since we have only one slot, you have to back this operating system and restore on the new solid state or do a clean install, which is not a bad idea actually to do. So we are having 2 SATA ports in here on a motherboard, which is great. We have 2 SATA ports on a motherboard, which is great. However, I guess starting from this year, we no longer have the little pigtail included for the SATA device. So by default, you cannot add a DVD or a SATA device just like this one, because you don't have this power cord. I told you all these great features what you can get, like the display port, daughterboard, the serial port. Maybe you're gonna need this. Not only that, but we don't have a caddy. Like every single Optiplex used to came with a metal caddy, which was swinging in here, and all you had to do is it had a 3.5 bay in it, and you could put your solid state in it, a 3.5 drive in it. This quote-unquote Pro is no longer coming with it. So let me show you one. So if you're not familiar with the Optiplex, you see what I mean. Okay, so as you can see, if I remove this, this is what I'm talking about. This caddy with a DVD is no longer included with the Pro, and for some reason we're doing that. So it was really easy to install. I would love to go to Dell.com, pull up this model number, and go to the shop and see what kind of components can you purchase right off the bat without talking to anyone, without emailing, trying to find out the phone number for the parts department. So let's see if we would like to buy this caddy. We would like to buy this power cord, which is no longer coming with this Pro machine. What about the serial port? What about the display port? So if we go to Dell.com and entering our serial number, it will bring up all the possible options. Let's go ahead and do that. So let's talk about RAM. A lot of people are pointing out that upgrading the RAM in these business class machines are extremely difficult. So just for fun, I brought some modules. This is a Crucial module. I think it's 8 gig. This is a no-name brand. This is a Samsung. This is a 16 gig Crucial, and this is a 32 gig G-Skill. And this is another Samsung. Any type of RAM I tried, this thing works. And even if I leave this 8 gig stick in it, which doesn't sound a lot, and I already got comments from the previous review, which was the QCS1250, I guess the home version of this very same machine. This machine and that machine should not exist. They should be combined into one. Whatever we're cutting off the circuit board on this machine, we have it on a cheaper version. The cheaper version comes with a Wi-Fi and a Bluetooth with a SD card reader and a second fan for some reason on the motherboard. This one does not. The second fan, we could put a front fan in here to cool down our video card. We don't have that option. We are cutting off the SD card in here, and we are also cutting off this 4-pin on this motherboard. So I think it's pointless. If the Dell shop would be better and we could just have these modules, like the SD card would be available in a shop, we would have the serial port, or we would have the power connector, or a bay, the metal bay, which we don't have anymore. That would be a game changer. This would be a real pro machine. So any of these RAMs works. Even if you have this 8 gig stick, it works flawlessly. If I put this 32 gig G-Skill in it, I'm gonna have 40 gigs of RAM, just like we have here. And a silver bullet for these computers is how much RAM you have. I want to show you a whole bunch of benchmark results with 8 gigs of RAM, and then 16, and then 64. And a performance, what we're getting at the end, can be doubled. It can be somewhere between 10 to 100%, depends on what game or what application are you running. So don't need to freak out. You buy with 8 gigs of RAM or 16 gigs of RAM, you drop another 32 gigs or 16 gig side by side. Machine will figure it out. They might not gonna run in 5600, but they probably gonna run in 4800, which is not gonna be a huge difference at the end when I'm looking at scores. Somebody said on a previous video, like, Dell is very cheeky. It's only give you 8 gigs of RAM with single channel. That's pretty lame. It is not single channel anymore. With DDR5, we technically have a 64-bit piece of hardware divided by 32 and 32, so even a single RAM will run in dual channel. The performance will not be jumping because of the dual channel. Technically this will be called quote-unquote quad channel, but what's happening in here is, as more RAM you have, the integrated graphics card will use more shared system RAM. It is a really good machine. So let's start doing some things. One of my favorite things is, regardless of this new CPU, even with 8 gigs of RAM, I can bring up 25 browser tabs side by side and click randomly, and this thing just goes. It is unbelievable how responsive. I wanted to see where is the breaking point. How many browser tabs can I run on 8 gigs? It turns out it's 40. After 39, it gets sluggish. It is very convincing. So if you put just a little bit of more RAM into the PC, it will greatly appreciate that. So let's go ahead and start torturing this thing and see how the thermals are going to change when we're gonna start cranking the CPU to its max to 100%. So let me use this, and this will put 100% stress on the CPU. Power consumption, and let's look at also our temperatures. So let's go ahead and see what we have here. Let's do burning, and I'm only gonna want to see the CPU cores, and let's go ahead and hit start. I can tell you right off the bat that there's gonna be no thermal throttling. Doesn't matter what happens in here. I cannot introduce a condition when thermal throttling or power throttling would be coming into play. We are like technically having a silver bullet with these CPUs now. They are super good. So there is no reason to replace this fan. If I torture this PC for 90 minutes or an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatnot, the temperature will go up to probably 78 or close to 80. Eventually we'll get there, but then it flatlines. And also the thermal throttling line stays at 0, flatlines. And what we have here is a blower fan. So this blower fan technically sucks because it sucks the cold air into the case and distributes it on a CPU, and this technically eliminates all the possible heat source from the power supply, from the RAM, from the solid state. If you put this NVIDIA card into this PC will transform into a gaming PC or a video editing PC or anything you want to design. This will give you the capability. I absolutely love it. The only downside is this thing gets really hot. I really wish we wouldn't cut that 4-pin second case fan option out here, because then I could put another fan in here which will suck the hot air out of the case. Unfortunately, we don't have that. Maybe on a higher end model the Pro Plus has it, I'm assuming, so we'll see in that. So as you can see, slowly we're building up. And so what kind of CPU cooler we have? Technically we have the same thing. This still have this aluminum core cheap cooler, which a lot of you call a laughing stock or a joke. This is definitely not a joke. This is what's underneath this blower fan, and at this point we don't need to replace it. I went as far as putting third-party coolers in here, just like this Noctua, and anything you introduce in this case will be a troublemaker, because as you can see, this funnel in here is sucking the cold air in from here. If you put this Noctua in here and put the top cover on, the thermal is gonna be worse. The best bang for a buck is put more RAM in it. If you need Wi-Fi, put Wi-Fi in it. If you need a card for gaming or anything like that, use this. Very good machine. Best Dell business class what I've seen so far. I can't wait for the next generation. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching this all the way to the end. Your comments are always welcome. Please let me know in the comment section if you have any question regards of this or any other computer issue you have. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Scott's out.